Minnesota. I should have skipped this. I should have done the Loons. Up the Loons. Mr.
You can,
Tamburello.
you can still do Minnesota.
You want me to?
Yeah,
I
go
love
for
hearing
it.
the sound of my own.
I know you do.
All right. So before we start, as we always do, up the Loons, Loons to the offs, Loons to the moon, even though they're actually going through the floor down to the other side of the earth because they have maybe one of the worst teams put together after a playoff run I've ever seen in my life. Adrian,
listen. You can still go to the moon if you go through the floor. You just come out the other side.
All right, listen. You're gonna have to go a hell of a long way,
but you'll still get there.
If the universe is round, then maybe, because if you don't time it perfectly, and the moon is on the other side when you exit that orbit, you might miss it, and then you're gonna have to go around the universe to come back.
Well, you don't have to go around the universe. You can go through the floor and then eventually turn around. Like you go through the floor fully, and then you just turn around and go to the moon.
Will you ever break the atmosphere at that point, or will you just be circling around the world like a satellite? Astronomy 101 with the Players Podcast. That's what you stick around for, not the soccer takes. Last year, not a bad year. 4th in the West, 9th in the league. Lost to Seattle in the conference finals because Kevin Molino and Mr. Reynoso blew up. 9, 5, and 7 to get into the playoffs. They've brought in Will Trapp, Juan Agudelo, Yuka Raitala, Kai Kamara, and I'll throw Reynoso in there. He only played a little bit last year. I'll say he's still a new arrival. Key departures. Jose Aja from the back, Raheem Edwards off the bench, Luis Amarilla back on loan to some Chilean side because they couldn't bring him back for whatever reason. Awful. Mason Toy. Adam's heart broke a little bit, even though he's in Montreal now. And Kevin Molino, literally your best player last year, and you just said, see ya. What? Absurd. Anyways, most likely formation, they did a 4-2-3-1 last year. Goalkeeping situation's a little interesting. I have Dwayne St. Clair in there because Tyler Miller's coming off injury and because I think St. Clair earned it last year. But man, oh man, what are you going to do with Tyler Miller on your bench? That's wild. That's something we'll talk about in a second. Metanier at the right back spot, Boxall, and then either Debasi or Opara. You still got former defender of the year, Ike Opara, on your bench. Yuka Raitala or Chase Gasper, either will do at the left back spot. Will Trapp and Jan Gregu is probably filling into the DM role, the 6-8 role, if you will. Reynoso at the 10, Lodem Finley on the right, and then that striker spot, man. Juan Agudelo? Are we for real? You're going from Luis Amarilla to Juan Agudelo? Juan Agudelo didn't hit the net in like 4 years. I think the last time he scored in MLS was with Red Bull at 17. He's like 29. What are you doing? Oh man. So let's talk goalkeeper first. What do you guys do? You got Dwayne St. Clair, you got Tyler Miller. What do you do? Connor, what do you do?
I'm starting Dane right now. He earned it last year. I feel like this is kind of like a common thing that happens in sports where it's like a prominent guy goes down for an injury. He's out for a while. His replacement comes in, performs really well, and now he takes the spot from him. So,
well, sorry, before you go, I was saying Dwayne for the longest time. It is Dane. Pronunciation, we've talked about it. Not great at it. Allow me. Go on.
So I think they should start Dane, and I kind of feel like they should try to trade Tyler Miller if they can. I mean, he's great to have off the bench, but I feel like he's just also being wasted on the bench. So I think a team, even why not Galaxy? Take a flyer, go get Tyler Miller. And then Minnesota can get something in return and buy a striker because, man, do they really need one.
And there are some out there. I agree. I'm going with Dane. I think he's earned it. I think he needs to do something to lose it. Unless Tyler Miller comes out and is world class, I think it's Dane's spot to lose, not Tyler's to earn, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Tamburello.
I'm starting St. Clair as well. I'll take Tyler Miller at Miami if he wants to come. Not freeze his ass off every game.
Oh man. Yeah, that is the best 1-2 goalkeeping tandem since Luis Robles, Ryan Mera. Don't you laugh at me. Ryan Mera took us to the U.S. Open Cup final, while Luis Robles won us the Supporter Shield. Statistically, we are the best 1-2 goalkeeper tandem in MLS history. Don't at me. Seriously, don't at me. I don't want to hear it. Don't come at me. I don't care. Outside of that striker spot, I think this team looks still really solid. If Metnier gets up to speed, going from, and we'll go back to fantasy, going from an $8 million striker to a $4 million striker in the matter of 2 weeks, probably not a good look. He's got to get back into the attack and start moving. They've got Kai Kamara there. Now, Kai Kamara can still play, but you'll have to change the entire way you play. And you saw it kind of a little bit with Mr. Schoenfeld when he was over there, where they tried to play back to goal into Reynoso and allow Kevin Molino run in, which is great. But is Ethan Finley Kevin Molino? No. Can he do what Kevin Molino did? Maybe. I think I don't know what to think. I wonder if they think they can get the best out of Agudelo here. If Adrian Heath is like, I can work magic one more time. I don't know. Thoughts, gentlemen, please.
My first question, is Kamara still on the team? Because I have the roster up right now and he's not on there.
Wait, what? Did they do this again? I could have sworn I saw that on MLSsoccer.com when we were talking about transfers.
Maybe they signed him and just haven't updated the roster yet. But
that's what it has to be. Let me check.
Yeah, I mean, while you're doing that, having watched Agudelo last season at Miami, my grandma could probably score as many goals. So, like, good luck for that. But he went from an attacking options of Mason Toy and Amaria to Agudelo and Kamara. Like, you're going to have a bad time. And it's sad because I think Minnesota was, I'd argue, one real piece away from like a finished article, or at least, when we talk about building teams and the life cycles of a team, like a successful team, at least, I think this Minnesota team could have had a good run this season had they built off of last year and actually kept, Kevin Molino, but this is a step back for me.
And yeah. I think the worst part about it is they didn't get anything. They let Molino walk on a free. They let freeze. They let Toy go. Amaria left on an end of loan, didn't get him back. They didn't get anything to blow this team up. They just did it for fun.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, he's not on Minnesota anymore, so I have lied to you. So once again, a striker who I thought was there is no longer there, which means this team is even worse off than before.
Full Juan Agudelo season.
Oh my God, Lord help us.
You know what the worst part is about Minnesota too is, like, we keep talking about them being like they were a piece away from, really like solidifying their spot, and like this is a MLS Cup team. Honestly, I think they had it. They didn't have Ike Opara all last season. They could have had it. Basically would have been like a new signing. They would have got Ike Opara back, and if they kept everybody else, including like Amaria and Kevin Molino, I think that we're talking about this team challenging for the Cup.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Is Thomas Chacon going to do anything? Because this is now his time to do something. So can somebody call him and tell him to do something so I can actually enjoy watching my Loons play for a little bit?
I'll get right on it.
Thank you. This is
Get
ridiculous.
him on the podcast.
Thank you. Yes, Thomas Chacon, join us so I can tell you to be mas mejor. Get better. Ay, ay, ay. It's just now I'm sad again because Kamara's gone. Now I'm trying to. It must have been sometime recent because I made this on. I did this team 4 days ago and he was on the roster, so I don't know what happened. He's not there anymore. So, all right, we need to move on sooner. I'm going to get really sad because my Loons look very, very bad. Key players: St. Clair, if he takes the spot, he had a great end to 2020. Let's see if he can keep it. I thought the Boxall, the Bossy pair was very, very good in 2020. If they keep it, they're going to be very good team to watch. And obviously, Mr. Braynoso, we all saw him play last year. We know what he can do. It's just a matter of, do they put players around him? We'll find out. Players need to have a good 2021. Opara, if he comes back, of course, we need to make sure that if he's going to come back, you can't bring the level of that back line down. You need to come in and play at a high level, especially coming off injury, especially coming off a whole year off. You got to come out at the highest level. And as we mentioned, Juan Agudelo needs to do something. Shoot the ball towards the net. Something, man. Come on.